Good morning. Welcome to the Commissioners' meeting for April 19th, 2023. We are going to begin with the salute to the flag. I'm going to ask everyone afterwards just to remain standing for a brief moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, the county lost a champion last week, a gentleman who most of you probably don't know the name of, but who had an impact on the county over a few decades, a gentleman named Pete Krause. Started his service, really, I think, working for Representative Greenwood, and then over the decades served on a variety of boards throughout the county, whether it was open space or industrial development, or the Housing Authority, the Economic Development Advisory Board, really having an impact on how what this county is today. He had a lengthy illness and passed last week. So I ask for a moment of silence in memory of him and thoughts to his family and friends. Okay, thank you. All right, as we've made a little bit of a habit of during this year, on this meeting, second meeting of the month, we try to recognize employees who have hit milestones here at the county, and we have 3 who we're honoring today. And I will begin, and we have something for all 3 of them. So I'll begin with Mr. Larry Luce, who is celebrating 20 years working in our emergency management agency. He's done a really invaluable job working, especially with our rescue squads. He himself has worked for over 30 years for rescue squads here in Bucks County. So we thank you for your service. You want to say a few words, or it's up to you. You don't have to. No?
The pleasure's been mine.
Okay. All right. Good. Welcome on forward. We're going to do a picture. Hold on, Larry. Did you want to do it all at once, or do it once? All right, don't go anywhere. All right. All right. Next from ERP is Melissa Niemand, also celebrating 20 years. Melissa here? Oh, here she is. Go stand up, Larry. I know. Okay. And last but certainly not least, celebrating 30 years from our juvenile probation division is Margaret Boone. All right, we're going to do a picture now. Get on up. Okay, thank you so much.
Congrats.
Okay, moving into continuing our presentations, we have National Crime Victims' Rights Week. Commissioner DiGirolamo has a proclamation to read, and I think our district attorney is going to say a few words.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. Whereas the term victim is more than just a label and has legal standing and protections that go along with it. Crime victims' rights laws at both the state and federal level guarantee victims the right to meaningfully participate and to use their voice in the criminal justice process. Victim services providers, advocates, law enforcement officers, attorneys, and other allied professionals can help survivors, I lost my place, excuse me, can help survivors find justice by enforcing these rights. The right to provide an impact statement ensures that victims' voices are considered in court during the sentencing and when applicable restitution processes, including and evaluating the voices, elevating the voices of survivors, makes certain that they are heard and seen, and creates a path to forging and sustaining community trust. National Crime Victims' Rights Week provides an opportunity to recommit to listening to crime survivors in every space where decisions are made that could impact them. Now, therefore, do we, the Board of the Bucks County Commissioners, Chair Robert Harvey, Vice Chair Diane Ellis Marseglia, and Commissioner Jean DiGirolamo, hereby proclaim the week of April 23rd to 29th, 2023 as Crime Victims' Rights Week throughout the County of Bucks. In so doing, we express our sincere gratitude and appreciation for our Bucks County District Attorney's Office and its community partners, including the Network of Victim Assistance, NOVA, A Woman's Place, and others who are committed to improving our response to all victims of crime so that they may find assistance, support, justice, and peace. And congratulations to all those who are involved. And Mr. Chairman, recognize our
Yes.
District Attorney.
Yep, have our district attorney say a few words.
A lot of times we go about our business every day, and we get really engrossed in the work. And a lot of people say that justice is like a wheel, or wheels, the wheels of justice, but people can get ground up sometimes. And were it not for all of the people behind me and many, many more, we have people from the juvenile justice system, we have people from my office, we have people from our community victims agency, Central Bucks is here, and NOVA, and Woman's Place. They give a voice to the voiceless sometimes. They present an opportunity for our victims to be heard, and sometimes to be driven places, and sometimes just to be comforted, to have a vast and mysterious mechanical machinery explained to them in regular words. And I often think about this myself, that I would hope that if I ever had to have contact with the criminal justice system and I were not a part of it, that it would be demystified for me, because that's got to be, other than being victimized the first time, the scariest day of your life is to have to come into a room like this and explain some of the most humiliating things that have ever happened to you to a panel of strangers who are going to sit in judgment of whether you're telling the truth, or having to go into a crowded room like this and explain to a judge why this has harmed you, has done irreparable harm to you. And without the people behind me, and many, many more who all these folks represent, that process would be all the more difficult. It goes without saying, although these are among our favorite employees here, that Daisy, our victim witness comfort dog, is our most cherished employee. But frankly, these are the people that are doing the work every day to make sure that our victims have a voice. And I know they are not here to be recognized, but they stand as representatives of the work that they do to make sure that our victims are heard every day. And for that, I'm very, very grateful. Thank you all.
Thank you. I don't know if commissioners have any comments? Or, no? Thank you. Okay. No, yeah, thank you so much for everything you do. And we can probably do a picture up here when we have a proclamation. So, yep. I knew if I said the word picture, you'd come up as fast as you could, right? Most dangerous place in the world between Matt Weintraub and a camera.
Are we centered here?
Thank you so much. It's important and appreciate the DA recognizing the fact that it isn't just county employees who have a role in helping victims of crime, but there are nonprofits, really important nonprofits here in this county. We're very lucky to have them, and they were mentioned earlier, but really appreciate all the work they do. Next, we have a proclamation that Commissioner Marseglia is going to read regarding National Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Thank you. Speaking of victims, these are the people that protect our most vulnerable victims, our children. I'm glad to see that there are people here from Children and Youth who represent that thin line of protection for children who face secrets and danger in their own homes. So whereas child abuse and neglect is a serious problem affecting every segment of our community, and finding solutions requires input and action from everyone. And whereas in the federal fiscal year 2021, 3.9 million reports were made to Child Protective Services, according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Whereas child abuse can have long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects that have lasting consequences for victims of abuse. And whereas protective factors are conditions that reduce or eliminate risk and promote the social, emotional, and developmental well-being of children. And whereas communities must make every effort to promote programs and activities that create strong and thriving children and families. And whereas we acknowledge that we must work together as a community to increase awareness about child abuse and contribute to promoting the social and emotional well-being of children and families in safe, stable, and nurturing environments. So now, therefore, do we, the Bucks County Commissioners, hereby proclaim April 2023 as National Child Abuse Prevention Month throughout the County of Bucks. And in so doing, we commend the work done year-round by Bucks County Children and Youth and community partners to protect our children. We encourage all citizens in Bucks County and beyond to remember that children are our most valuable resource and will shape the future of our country.
So, and I know we have, thank you, I know we have Marge McEwen here, Head of Children and Youth, and she has a team that she's bringing with her.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you very much for the proclamation. We are here, this is just a small group of our folks who work every day to try to keep children safe in County of Bucks. We have a little presentation on the numbers, little statistics that we have. You can see how many investigations we do for children and families from the year in 21-22, as well as in-home services, which is the bulk of the work that we do through the agency. You'll also see on your agenda today how many programs that we have, and that's only a portion of the programs we use to help families. It's been stressful, as you all know, since COVID, and families are dealing with a lot of stressors. So we provide a lot of different programs, information, referral, counseling, parenting, drug and alcohol referrals, housing, food, utilities, diapers when folks need them, which a lot of folks don't know that we do. So I appreciate you all taking the time to present this proclamation to us. And thank you for all you do to support us. Thank you.
No, thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. Love to come on forward. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Marge, could you just stay for a second? I wanted a couple comments. First, I just wanted to thank you and everybody at Children and Youth for the good work that you do, and I realize how difficult it is at times and how challenging it is. You talk about child abuse. I mean, I think I have a lot of forgiveness in me for whatever, but I'll be honest with you, I have very little forgiveness, if any, for anybody that would abuse a child, whether physically, mentally, or sexually. There is an issue up in Harrisburg that the legislature and the governor have been struggling with for a number of years, and it's something that I voted on in favor of when I was still in the legislature, and that's removing the statute of limitations for civil liability when somebody has been sexually abused by an adult. A child has been sexually abused. And I was a big part of putting that together, and I actually looked into and wanted to remove the statute of limitations criminally for somebody who has been proven to abuse a child. And wasn't able to do that, and I think it was a constitutional issue. And it was supposed to be on the ballot for the civil side of removing that statute of limitations, but somehow got tied up in the Department of State, and it never got on the ballot, I think, 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So the issue is still alive up in Harrisburg. There's kind of like competing bills up there between the Senate and the House, and they're not actually the same bills. It's the same idea of putting it on the ballot for people to vote on to remove that civil statute of limitations, which is, I think, is absolutely the right thing to do. It gives these victims who were severely abused as children and could not come out and tell their story when they were growing up. But now, as older adults, they would like some closure and some accountability and their victims to be named. So I would just like to say, to encourage the legislature, to work with the governor, to try to get this done, because I think it is absolutely the right thing to do. These abusers should be named. They should be penalized. And I know we can't put them in jail. I understand that. I wish we could, because they deserve to be in jail for abusing children sexually. But at least civilly now, we can maybe get them to at least be named, and for if there's entities out there that need to be held accountable as well, at least hold them accountable. So again, thank you, Margie, to you and the children and youth for the good work that you do. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yep. Yeah, certainly, I think it's one of the things, Bucks County is a wonderful place to live. Obviously, we're all lifelong residents, the three commissioners, and raised our families here. But as you saw the numbers, there are thousands of cases of child abuse every year in this county that are investigated. It is not simply an issue of people of a certain income or people who live in a certain region or certain school district. It is from north to south. And it's something that those workers see on a daily basis, unfortunately. So it's incredibly difficult work, and we appreciate the work they do. All right, we move on to public comments. The first section again on agenda items. We would ask people to limit their comments to the agenda. I will note one of the speakers who signed up did list the two proclamations we just did as what they want to talk about. That's not really on our agenda. So certainly that person, if they want to speak about something actually on the agenda that we'll be voting on, that's the idea behind this. If they want to speak about National Crime Victims Week or Child Abuse Prevention Week, they can speak at the general comment about that. So our first commenter is Scott Vogan.
Scott Vogan, Warrington Township. I see you're voting on the co-responder program. This program really scares me because people are getting committed for very ridiculous reasons. Someone was committed a few weeks ago and they were able to get out within a few hours. What they were committed for was singing the lyrics to the MASH movie. which the title of that song is Suicide is Painless. A few months ago, I was playing a game and something came across the game. I was also on the phone. Whoever was on the phone heard those words. Next thing I know, people were like, what's going on? I've got the police at my door. And they realized very quickly it was the game being played, but it was a waste of time. If it wasn't for people acting responsibly, I probably would have been in a very bad situation. These people get hurt because a lot of people, when they get committed, it's just a checklist. It's not based on what's good for the patient. And these co-responder programs scare me to no end. Forced committal